ロサンゼルス・ドジャースのゼネラルマネージャー、ブランドン・ゴームズ氏が日本時間の29日にニューヨークポスト紙のポッドキャストで、大谷翔平選手の二刀流としての復帰プランについて話しました。大谷選手は2023年9月に右肘の靭帯再建手術を受け、昨シーズンはリハビリを行っていました。彼のピッチング復帰に向けた苦悩と計画について、日本語字幕付きでご紹介します。
Your rotation and the bullpen is as stacked as I've ever seen it. I should ask you, are you with three not just three Japanese starters, three great Japanese starters, is the six-man rotation a foregone conclusion? And who gets to tell Glass now, Sasaki, whomever it is, that they're the fifth and sixth guys in the rotation?
Yeah, I'm not sure we'll have a 1 through 5 or 1 through 6 designation. It'll just so happen to be where guys fall out into days of the week. But a lot of it, as we went through the rookie process, was saying, hey, we are in a unique position because of A, having Shohei, and B, just what we feel like is a good amount of depth in our starting pitching group, to be able to, build him up and get him on track in the big league schedule in a way that is prudent and allow him to get used to that schedule without having to say, hey, you're going to get like 1 or 2 starts with an extra day rest, and then we're jumping into a 4-man. Like, that's hard. We did some of it last year with Yama, getting him extra days to ease in, and he get to a point where, he can throw on 5 days rest, and I'm sure at some point, if we needed to, he'd be able to go shorter than that. But we're in the position where we have the depth and the benefit of Shohei not counting against our pitching staff, that we'll be able to provide ample rest. And I would assume there's times that a 6-man makes sense, and also times where we have a bunch of off days and we can pivot and make sure we're taking big picture in mind as well.
When you say Ohtani doesn't count against your pitching staff because he's also a DH, it means you could still carry essentially like a 13 and a half pitchers, right?
Right. So you maintain
plus 13.
Yes. The 6-man rotation is challenging when you then have a 7-man bullpen, and we know how hard that is. That takes one short start to kind of blow things up. So his ability to be a two-way player, we can still maintain an 8-man bullpen, which is incredibly helpful.
Can you tell it, like, what is the plan with Ohtani? Do you imagine he's a starter from being able to start from day one, coming back from Tommy John surgery? What do you envision? What's from now until he starts a game? What you envision?
Yeah, I mean, I think he's going to continue his rehab program. And last year, it was challenging because as he was about to get into a deeper part of the pitching progression, we were going into the playoffs and talked like, okay, is it really worth ramping up to live BPs as you're taking your first playoff at bats? Like, we can't risk losing this guy from our lineup. So that was a give and take. So there's a little bit of, we're making sure we hit these boxes on the front end here, and we'll build him up. And then when he's ready to go and has gone through his live BPs, then he can kind of plug back into the rotation. But a lot of that is figuring it out along the way, because of the unique nature of, he can't just go out on a rehab assignment, right? Like, we would lose our DH, who happens to be a pretty good hitter. So, we'll see how these things continue to progress, and we have a decent idea, but, we haven't done this as an organization before. So we'll take his feedback and make sure it fits all together, with making sure that he's as healthy as possible in the batter's box, and then also on the mound, but, through the stretch run of the regular season and into October.
Would you agree with me that Ohtani is the greatest free agent signing in history and the best deal for a team, just based on not only what he does on the field but off the field as well, what his value is? And was there anything that he did that surprised you? I mean, he was spectacular again, third unanimous MVP, but anything you learned about?
Yeah, I mean, I think the dedication to his routine and process each day, the homework that he would do, digging in on pitchers, tells, like, Shohei's obviously fast. He's not the fastest guy in the big leagues. So he is putting in the homework, understanding the times to run, pick and choose his spots and making sure that it's balanced out with the game situation. So his routine and how dialed in he is on that is a whole nother level than what anybody could have expected. And then you start to think about, he just went 50-50, was this amazing player. And he's also one of the best pitchers in the game. It's kind of hard to fathom. There were times last year we just forgot that he's also going to pitch the following year. So, really excited to watch both sides of it this year and watch him go through his process on that side, working with our pitching group, and see what, the raise this game to another level on that side as well.
The garage where I keep my car, a guy asked me the other day before the weekend, who do you like in the playoffs? And I said, well, when I see somebody beat the Chiefs, I'll believe they will beat the Chiefs. And I kind of was saying that about you and Sasaki the whole way. When I see him sign with one of the other 29 teams, I'll believe it. I'm always assuming he was going to sign with you. So can you address two things? Obviously, there was a lot of questions. Did you know this was going to happen the whole way? Did you have something with him? Address that. And then also, what kind of advantage do you think you have as the team of Japan, where clearly your hats, your merchandise, your games are being shown there? You have this thing going on there. If you could address the two things.
Yeah, so much of this during the process was like there was just not that much info about Roki. We had heard, hey, it could be small market. Hey, LA could be good. So we didn't know if these things were working for us or against us through the whole thing. And, during the first meeting when we're diving in on what we feel like is a strong suit of our group of talking through, okay, here's what we think about how your velocity, it was still like top 10 in the big leagues, but it dropped off, from last year. We felt like we put together a very good presentation, and Roki kept everything very close, and there wasn't, very minimal questions, and it sounded like that was the process throughout. So anytime anybody went through that, there was just a lot of like, I think we did well, but I'm not totally positive. And, at no point during it until we got that text from Shohei were we like confident in any way, because of so much of the other storylines that were going along with it, of like smaller market, maybe LA's not the place, don't know how this all fits in. And, really fortunate at the end of the day. I think there were a lot of reasons why he should come here, but we are biased, obviously. And, once we got that text from Show, I was like, oh my God, okay, this is incredible. I know everybody over the years has put in, a bunch of teams has followed him, or we've had scouts go and see almost every one of his starts. So there's a lot of work that went into it. So to be able to actually have him choose us at the end was incredibly gratifying for a lot of reasons. A lot of hard work that went into it, but also being able to add him to a very talented team is very special.